April Wine's co-founder Jim Henman says he does not regret leaving the band before the big time. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music. Jim Henman goes way back with April Wine frontman and lead singer Myles Goodwyn. In 1965 to 67, they were in a band called Woodies Termites in Nova Scotia. In 1969, along with cousins Ritchie and David Henman, Myles Goodwyn and Jim Henman formed April Wine. Jim was only with them for their first album, the self-titled album that was sometimes subtitled Feet. On that record, they had a hit called Fast Train. Jim Henman wrote a handful of songs and sang a handful of songs on that debut. But looking back, Jim Henman was dealing with addiction. And he's one of many stars who say, if I wouldn't have gotten out, I might not be here.
When you left April Wine, was that a tough process for you to leave? It's strange, this morning I was thinking about you and I thought, okay, what was he going through when he, on the On Record album, because you weren't there, I know, but when he heard, for instance, You Could Have Been a Lady on the radio, because that, of course, went across the border to the U.S. In the early 70s. But was there ever a time you looked and go, wow, these guys are really taking off? Was there a moment like that for you after you left?
Yes. Oh, yeah, it was. I left just before On Record. I don't know if we were preparing for On Record or what when I left, because my memory of that period is a little shaky. But I recall On Record coming out and thinking, geez, nice album. It was a move away from that first album we had done. It was moving into more rock and roll, but it was still poppy. At that time, I didn't think, oh, geez, they're really doing something, right? When Electric Jewels came out, that's when I went, oh, wow, this is, it was the very next album after On Record. That's when I knew that they had hooked into something. They had the right combination with whatever, studio, producers, songs, musicians in the band, because of course by that they had transitioned to Jerry Mercer on drums and Gary Moffat. Anyways, that album had some really nice stuff on it. So I think at that point I did. I know every year I didn't see the many results, but here in Halifax, and I had gone back to school and I got married and I was starting to have kids and I was working full time and I stopped playing basically for quite a few years and was just writing at home and stuff, and had a little studio in my basement in the house I had built. And I remember every time they would come to town, I would go through some kind of, I don't know what it was, just some kind of experience of I can't even put into words to tell the truth, John. I'd probably have to go to a psychiatrist and say, what was that all about?
I don't know how I feel. It'd be weird. I mean, it's nice that they've done well, but you're part of that too. You'll always be part of that.
Well, there was not a negative thing at all. It wasn't like, oh God, I regret that I had left the band, anything like that, because I knew in my heart why I had left. I had to leave. I thought I believed I was doing a geographical cure in a way that my drugs and alcohol problem I had was not really the problem. It was me somehow or something, or it was the band, or it was whatever. I just didn't have the maturity to understand. And again, wasn't sharing with anybody who I was and what I was going through. Nothing like that. So I was trying to deal with it in myself, and didn't have the wisdom to know how to deal with it. I thought the geographical tour of me coming back here would solve my problems, and so I left. I don't regret that move, because I feel pretty strongly that if I'd stayed in that band, I would have been casualty. So I know what I was like back then.
When we're young, it's always a question of we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think we all have to go through that process of eventually just getting comfortable in our skin for fixing our lives up. You get to one point in your life where some of us just have to stop and go, wow, I got to fix my life up. Where I'm at now, to look back and fix that all up and go on from here, keeping it fixed. Like not going in the ditch anymore, not driving in the ditch anymore, not smashing anything up, not hurting people, not, going against our own values and all those things. And that for me has been the thing, I think, when you talk about being comfortable in your skin, it's being comfortable in my skin. I'm very comfortable in my skin now, and I have a relationship with my God. I came back to my belief system very, very slowly, and got my mind opened to where my particular church was a bit mucked up, and took what I wanted and left the rest. And it's given me a sense of peace and direction. Mind you, it takes work, but everything takes work, doesn't it? You know, in all my travels with what we call the high life, you know, and I think for most of us in humanity that are living the high life, whether it's by owning all kinds of things, whether it's by having every kind of sex you want, by drinking or drugging, whatever you want, no matter what it is, entertainment, traveling, all we're really trying to do is be happy. That's all we're trying to do. And if you can find it through that, good luck to you. But I don't think it's possible. But I do think it's possible if we get outside ourselves, and if I get outside myself anyways, and find some kind of belief in something that's higher than me, that's greater than me, that seems to work, you know. And it's that's kind of what I've had to do to kind of stay. Actually, I had to do it, John, so that I didn't become the old person I was.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it, you know. I didn't want to go back to the old person I was, so I had to go this way to keep from going back.
Jim Henman's brand new song is called Some of These Children. It was composed in response to the Stoneman Douglas High School shooting in Florida that just happened January 2018. And keep in mind, 50% of the proceeds goes to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Halifax. There'll be links to Jim's website as well as where you can buy the single and watch the video in the description of this page. We'll have more from Jim and our conversation with him in the next couple of weeks. Thanks for all the folks who have visited our swag store sporting a brand new Rock History Music t-shirt. We appreciate the support. Partial proceeds go to St. Jude's Hospital Research Department. Make sure you comment on our videos. We read all the comments, share our videos, and subscribe to our channel. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music.